reasons, but a lot of it actually has to do with metabolic processes in your body. So, like if you were to look at the Chinese organ map, which I don't know if you've ever looked at that, it's super fascinating, or the Chinese organ clock. So these are the times of day that your organs are processing either like metabolically, it's like their high energy times. So sometimes we can pinpoint specific issues, especially that are related to sleep. Like if somebody's always waking up at midnight or they're always waking up at 2 to 3, that's a good indicator that like we're having some liver or lung issues. So that being said, part of the reason, and again, this is dependent on a lot of other factors, but it can be helpful in just understanding, like, for example, a lot of people, for example, I was always with my insomnia waking up at 3 in the morning. And I had a lot of unprocessed grief after my dad died. And grief is primarily stored in your lungs. And so, which I know sounds weird and woo woo, but from like an emotional standpoint, there's actually tons of studies that if you're looking into cellular memory, that emotions get stored in our cells in certain parts of our body. So again, that's not like new agey weirdness. That is like legit. You can look up the studies on that. It's well documented. So once I took the time and I got in therapy and started doing grief counseling, I was no longer waking up at 3 in the morning, and I didn't have to do any like supplementation for that. It was just allowing my body to get rid of the emotions and stuff like that. So so when we are looking at restorative sleep and why those hours count more, has to do with a couple different things, but mainly like your liver and your gallbladder are in part responsible for kind of cleaning house, right? They're cleaning house, and they get most of their energy in those pre-midnight hours. And so if we don't take care of our liver, that will like prolong that process and can actually disrupt our sleep, because our liver is like, hey, I'm trying to get rid of stuff and I can't, either because my gut's a mess or because something else, like I'm not able to detox appropriately. The other thing is that your liver and your gallbladder are responsible for synthesizing vitamin D, but they're also, the gallbladder has melatonin receptors in it. So those hours before sleep are really responsible for getting that communication between different organs and the brain to help the pituitary gland to produce melatonin. There's a lot of, I mean, somebody's probably written a book about why the first 3 hours of your sleep are the most important. But that's the nutshell version of that. And I definitely notice a huge difference when I can get those, 2 to 3 hours in before midnight. So I hope that you start to see a difference with that too, because it's hard to make that shift, but it's so worth it.